Today's event is held at Hort Park in conjunction with the Community Gardening Festival. This festival celebrates the efforts and achievements of our community gardeners in Singapore. NUS My Science Centre and NParks have been working closely together for several years, and this joint event is the first after the easing of the COVID circuit breaker. So this is an 1-hour event. There are 3 main items. The first item is the Wisinto lecture by Professor Kwa Ee Hyok. Then we'll be launching our new book. And lastly, there'll be a panel discussion. We encourage our online audience to participate by typing your questions in the Q&A section in Zoom. So without further ado, let's welcome Director of My Science Centre, Professor Wong to give us the welcome address.
Good morning, Mrs. Teo Po Yin, Patron My Science Centre, Dr. C.K. Cheong, Chairman Board of Advisor My Science Centre, Mr. Sia Fu Hua, our Chairman of NUHS Board and NUS Board of Trustees, Mr. Abdullah Tamuji, our former Speaker of Parliament, Mrs. Wee, distinguished guests, especially those, many of you all who are at the webinar, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here this morning with us. For those of us who are at the Hort Park, as well as our live webinar, a very warm welcome. 8 years ago, the late Mr. Wisinto, the founding chairman, board of advisor of My Science Centre, together with a group of passionate medical experts and industry professionals, mooted the establishment of the My Science Centre to build mental resilience of the young and the elderly in Singapore and help launch pioneering research in the area of dementia prevention. Today, through the many years and effort, My Science Centre is a National University Health System Centre of Excellence and an academic centre at NUS Yong Loo Lin School of Medicine, Department of Psychological Medicine. The recognition of the importance and the impact of mental health among Singaporeans and the community have increased significantly over the past years, both by leaders as well as individuals, even more so with the current COVID-19 pandemic. And there has been increased attention on the science, fundamental reasons, and how we can mitigate psychological stress, anxiety, and mental health issues. My Science Centre conducts evidence-based research that aims to identify core mental health trends and introduce translational program in the community for upstream prevention, targeted at both the individual and the community. One such pioneering community program is the Jurong Aging Research Study, led by Professor Kwa Ee Hyok, Professor Rati Mahendran, and a team of academic scientists and clinicians from NUHS and NUS. This is translated into a community program, which is now, we call it Aging Well Every Day. In the early days, it was called Dementia Prevention Program, DPP. And this has actually been able to provide much evidence in the various aspects of the program research to show that active aging is possible, especially to mitigate impact of aging, reduce the risk of depression and dementia in the elderly. Expanding across the age continuum, the My Science Centre also spearheaded research in adolescent in the Youth Epidemiology and Research Study we call YEAR, currently in the first few stages of data collection. And this is already starting to demonstrate early indications of the key issues that impacts our children and youth in the age group of 10 to 18 years old. We have also started a My Art Experiential Lab, which is an incubation hub project at Alexandra Hospital in our NUHS campus. As named the My Art Experiential Lab, MayLab in short. The late Mr. Wee was part of the early driving force behind the conceptualization and the setup of this MayLab, which will provide a launch of its first curation in the coming quarter. And we hope to introduce to you in a very quick time. Mr. Wee has also helped us shape many other initiatives besides the MyLab, besides the AWE, especially in the area of mindfulness, as well as mindful activities with the nature. Today we are here for the Vicinto lecture and the launch of the book Nature and Mindful Awareness study book titled Nature, Health and Happiness. The book is a collaborative effort of both Professor Kwa, Dr. Jade, Mr. Sui, Professor Vincent Chong, Angelia, and many writers who actually contributed to the book in its publication. And this is a testimony of the close collaboration between NPARC, many of our My Science Center's research scientists, colleagues, as well as many people who are interested in nature and health and mental wellness. Without further ado, I would like to invite Professor Kwa Yi Hyok, the Tan Yok In Professor in Psychiatry and Neuroscience, to deliver the Vicinto lecture this morning entitled Ecology of Resilience, Faith, Love, at the time of COVID-19. Professor Kwa, please.